Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we have the latest information on a police chase that ended with gunshots. And police in Bell County are searching for suspects following a robbery at a gas station. We have the surveillance video. And several more states dealt with severe weather on Tuesday. We have an update on who was affected.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Taylor Upchurch. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, what can folks expect as they travel out to work today?
Not too bad this morning, Taylor, but as we get deeper into the afternoon, you're going to start to see the humidity increase. You're going to start to see the heat increase, and you're going to see sunshine mixed with a few clouds and a warm front that's causing a heat wave. Let's take a look at the Stonecrest Golf Course camera this morning. A beautiful scene there. A couple of clouds there off in the distance. For the most part, everything pretty quiet. Satellite radar over the last 6 hours, also pretty quiet. A few clouds out toward Lake Cumberland and across, of course, the northern parts of the area. Most of it's in pretty good shape. Warm air moving in. 70 right now in Monticello, 62 Jackson, 65 Pikeville, Prestonsburg, 66 Logan and Williamsburg, 57 here in Hazard. 76 already Bowling Green, so the warmer air continues to surge into the south. 75 Clarksville, 74 in Nashville, 67 in Louisville. 12-hour planner. Sunrise happened a few minutes ago. We're going to see that sun pretty much all day long. Remember those heat precautions, though, as we get up close to 90 later this afternoon.
Police are still trying to piece together what led to an officer-involved shooting in Perry County. Here's what we know right now. One man is dead following a chase and shootout. Troopers tell WYMT they're looking for Christopher Brown on active warrants and for possibly driving a stolen vehicle. When they found him last night in the Daniel Boone Motel parking lot in Hazard, he took off. The chase went through Hazard into Vico when Brown hit a state trooper's cruiser. That trooper is okay. Other troopers opened fire on Brown's vehicle, killing him. We hope to learn more about this story later today. And a man wanted for murder is behind bars this morning. Federal agents caught Khalil Woods in Columbus, Ohio on Tuesday. Investigators say the 19-year-old killed Roger Markham and tried to kill Randall Bowen just across the Kentucky border in Mingo County, West Virginia, back on May 7th. Woods will be extradited back to Mingo County in the near future. And a Whitley County grand jury indicted 2 more men this week in connection with the 2017 triple murder. The indictments came down Monday against Anthony Hester and Darnell Chivers. Both face 3 counts of murder, 1 count of burglary, and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence. Investigators say they killed Chris and Imogene Bittner and Robert Kennedy Jr. Jeremy Hatfield was indicted in March. And seniors at STEM School Highlands Ranch in Colorado graduated Monday night. It was supposed to be a major celebration marking their achievement and launching them into their futures. But one key person was missing. Kendrick Castillo, the 18-year-old who fought off a school shooter who attacked students on May 7th. He died a hero, and the class of 2019 made sure everyone knew just how much they appreciated his sacrifice.
I know I speak for the class of 2019 when I say that we will never forget what you did for us.
Castillo was honored at the graduation, getting a standing ovation from his classmates. 8 others were injured in the shooting. 2 suspects, a 16 and 18-year-old, each face 48 criminal charges. Pineville police are on the hunt for 4 men caught on surveillance video robbing a gas station Tuesday morning. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds has the latest on the search.
Pineville police say a woman working by herself at the Delta gas station in Pineville was taken by surprise around 1 in the morning on Tuesday.
Well, I feel sorry for the poor lady that was working. Yeah, she's probably scared to death.
The clerk was unharmed, which we're grateful for. She's shooken up just as anybody would be during an incident like this.
Police say 4 young men came into the station to rob it.
One being armed with a rifle.
But strangely, they did not demand cash.
And they went behind the counter and stole various cigarettes and other merchandise.
They headed southbound down Highway 25 East, but they didn't get away without appearing on surveillance cameras.
They concealed their identities with bandanas, and all of them were wearing long sleeve sweatshirts except for one who had a short sleeve shirt, but there was no specific tattoos or identifying marks that we saw.
While the suspects hid their faces, police say They expect to make arrests soon.
Through investigations, we've developed suspects and we're continuing to try to locate them at this time.
Until then, they continue to explore every avenue to charge them with the crime. In Pineville, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Police say anyone with information on the robbery should call the Pineville Police Department. Those who call can remain anonymous. Meanwhile, 2 trailer loads full of stolen items were found Monday night in Leslie County. Around 2 weeks ago, the Leslie County Sheriff's Department received a call that an elderly couple's home had been broken into. Officials received a tip and located the stolen items at the home where James Brock's mother lived before she died. Brock and Jimmy Simpson were arrested in connection with the case.
We spent about 5.5 to 6 hours getting everything out of the woods. I mean, it was probably a half-mile radius scattered throughout the property where all the stuff was located.
Simpson and Brock are in the Leslie County Detention Center facing multiple charges. An inmate who escaped back in March from the Knox County Detention Center is back behind bars this morning. Deputies say Christopher Scott escaped while on work detail. He's charged with escape but was also wanted on a bench warrant out of Adair County. Dangerous storms that triggered flash floods and more than 24 reports of tornadoes moved throughout Arkansas, Missouri, and Illinois on Tuesday. St. Louis braced for gusts near 60 miles per hour along with hail and possible tornadoes. Rescue teams were busy yesterday in Oklahoma and Missouri, where floodwaters trapped people in their cars and homes.
Trees all came down around me and I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't tell direction.
Emergency managers begged people to stay home because they didn't have enough officers or barricades to keep them away from flooded roads. More storms are predicted for the end of the week, and they're hopeful the water will recede by then. Nearly 5,000 people are leaving their homes and a state of emergency is underway because of a raging wildfire in parts of Alberta, Canada. Several people have been told to prepare to be away from home for at least 72 hours. 89 firefighters with heavy equipment, along with helicopters and planes, are working to protect the affected area. Over the next couple of days, crews from Ontario, Nova Scotia, and British Columbia will be joining the fight. The dry, hot weather with high winds is expected to continue for the rest of the week. 6 months have passed since the deadly campfire tore through Paradise, California. This past weekend, students at Paradise High School held their annual prom. Despite all the hardship they endured this school year, organizers wanted to make it a celebration they'll never forget, thanks to some celebrities. Makeup artists and hairdressers flew into town from New York, and students had dresses and tuxes paid for. Then they had this video, a celebrity tribute featuring 30 actors, athletes, and entertainers.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Banks, and I'm thinking today about all of the students in Paradise.
John Heater here, aka Napoleon Dynamite.
Hello to all my friends at Paradise High School. This is me, Jude Law.
Paradise High School, what's up? It's Gabrielle Union. I just want to say happy prom!
No ball playing, no skateboarding, and no bicycle riding. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic time.
What did students think about the prom and the gesture? They say it helps reaffirm what they learned all year, that they're definitely not alone. And back here in the mountains, fire crews responded to a fire in the Virgie area of Pike County last night. Around 7 p.m., crews were called to a fire on Monkeytown Road. Firefighters with the Shelby Valley Volunteer Fire Department say both a storage building and an old trailer were on fire. No one lived in either building. The homeowner says both were being used for storage. He says he was burning in a burn pile when he heard a pop. He says the trailer then exploded and no injuries were reported. With just a few days until the Memorial Day weekend, we're learning a little more about the plans for Conley Bottom Marina. A fire Monday morning destroyed the cafe, offices, and store. Fire also damaged but did not destroy their gasoline island, so that's been moved and will be fully operational by Friday. An outdoor shed will be their temporary office. It will be almost 1 year before a permanent store and cafe is built. But all in all, Fred Piercy and his family say the show must go on.
Called and texted and come down to do whatever they can and want to help, so it's been wonderful. Yeah, well, we've got the best crew anywhere on the lake, or any lakes, I think, and they all just come down to to do whatever they could while this all was going, and they're all here today.
People in the community have set up a fundraising page to help with repairs. Investigators in Monticello are still looking into the fire's cause, but at this point, it looks like it was an accident. In international news, Iran has shut down President Trump's offer of talks, saying the U.S. has to show them respect first. To do that, Iranian officials say the U.S. would have to honor its commitments under the disputed nuclear deal. The United States says Iran is behind a series of recent coordinated attacks in the region. There's been no public evidence of Iran's involvement in these attacks. Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan says they're not giving up on the idea of talks.
We do not want the situation to escalate. This is about deterrence, not about war. We're not about going to war.
Many Democrats remain skeptical of the claims of Iranian involvement in the attacks. And now let's check in with Brandon Robinson for another look at your weather.
Forecast this morning, a few clouds to our west, but most of us here in the mountains pretty clear and quiet as we head through the first part of your day. Take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. Not much to scan across our entire region: southwest Virginia, southern West Virginia, East Tennessee, and southern and eastern Kentucky. 70 right now, Monticello already. Temperatures climbing across the region. Still in the 50s there in Hazard, though. 57 there, Jonesville, and in Middlesboro this morning. So again, those temperatures are going to go up quickly. The out the door forecast for you features temperatures close to 90 this afternoon. Yes, you're seeing that right. After being in the 70s and 80s yesterday, close to 90 this afternoon, and humid and hot conditions will last all week long. Taylor?
All right, thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. A pet from a local animal shelter looking for a forever home will join us in the studio in just a few minutes.